Just imagine tomorrow morning you receive a letter from HMRC saying that we are looking into your finances and we need answer about the few transactions or evidences behind it. How does it sound? Does it ring the bells and does it puts you in the stress? It's very common to consider the same emotions if you are being investigated. So the investigation starts with where they have some confusion about your records and where you can't tell the story, where you do not have the evidence behind those numbers or behind the transactions they are inquiring about. If it sounds familiar, please keep watching. There are around 7 triggers on which HMRC could investigate you and go into further detail in your affairs because the story doesn't make sense or there is a confusion and they want something. It doesn't mean you have done something dodgy, but it means there is something missing in the records and they want to understand the missing gaps or where they feel they could be making some money out of this with the penalties and tax due. Keep watching if you are looking to understand 7 key red flags which HMRC look into before starting any investigation or before doing anything with your affairs. The first trigger is mixing your personal expenses with your business expenses. So what does it mean is, for example, if you are spending money in your bank account, if you are receiving, for example, 50,000 income which you are declaring, but in the bank you are receiving 100,000, or in some cases you are receiving 200,000 but you are declaring an income of 50,000. There could be other reasons where you are taking this personally or someone has given you the deposit, but if it is unexplained or if you can't give a reason or evidence of those transactions, then for HMRC it means this is an income. So they are looking for clues from your records, from your information, and one of the key information they could get is what you are getting in your bank account. So if you are getting in your bank account different than what you are declaring in your return, then it's one of the things where they should be looking into. Second flag for HMRC is lifestyle. So if your lifestyle doesn't match your return, so if your return says there are 5,000 taxable income but you are driving Lamborghini or luxury vehicles and your lifestyle is quite contradictory to what you are declaring in as an income, then it could be another red flag, and it's legitimate for them to look into it and see how this is being funded. There could be legitimate reasons. You have received inheritance or you have received other reasons for that. For example, someone could be not declaring that much income in their self-assessment, but they have losses in their company, so now the company is doing profits and you can offset those losses. So that's why the company accounts are different and they do not need the money from the company, and there could be a lot of reasons behind it. But the key thing to understand is, are your records tying up? Are you familiar with what you are doing and you have that ID records, you have the evidence behind the numbers to prove that whatever you are declaring is right. Third point is excessive claim of expenses, like your expenses are quite high, so you are putting personal expenses into the business and you are showing that these are the business expenses, but in reality they are not. So your expenses are excessive. If you are doing aggressive tax planning or you are putting aggressive expenses, you should have aggressive records to support it and evidences to support it. You should keep invoices, you should keep emails, screenshots of the information or the expense you are making. So if it is personal nature expenses and you have put it in the business, that's not allowed. If it's a mixed use, you have to bifurcate it. For example, if your vehicle is for personal use and you have put it to the business, can you just that the expense, if you are say it loud in front of HMRC, does it pass? You feel embarrassed or do you feel confident that is fine to put it as an expense? So one thing is they are not looking at your expense just in isolation. They know your industry, what the industry average is, how much expense at this size of business should be. So be pragmatic about what you are putting in your expenses, and having excessive business expense claims is one of the reasons for investigation. The fourth reason is there could be you can say weird numbers. What I mean with that, for example, if your industry average is 50% margin and your business is showing just 5 to 10% margin, so it rings the bells for HMRC to see why this business particularly is going below the industry average. This could be either you are putting excessive expenses or you are underreporting your income. So if you are underreporting your income or expenses, there are two things which could be defining your profit and on which basis you are actually taxed. So if you are, for example, putting on expenses which doesn't relate to the business, or you are putting personal expenses, that is one reason. And overall they will see what margins you have, what the industry averages look like, and how you are presenting the affairs. So that could be another reason or trigger for your investigation. The other thing is unexplained swings. What does it mean is, for example, if you were doing 70,000 in turnover in the previous year, now you are doing really well and you have turned out to be doing 200,000 in turnover. It's a massive increase, but there is no VAT registration happening in the process. There could be legitimate reasons where you do not need to register for VAT, but generally they expect you should be registering in the process. And if they think like your profits were last year 90,000 pounds, now they are going down to 5,000 pounds, and there is no unexplained reasons behind it. If there is a legitimate reason, you should have records behind it. So if you have some extraordinary year, or there is something happening in that year, you have been more expenses in the business which are legitimate, then it makes sense. But whatever you are doing, it depends on your circumstances, but these fluctuations could be one of the reasons. For example, in VAT claim, if you are having a fluctuation, for example, if you generally pay a VAT, but in one quarter you have a big fluctuation where you are having a big invoice in, and you are getting 20,000-30,000 pounds of refund, and normally you are paying the VAT each quarter. So that could another be trigger, because that's another unexplained swing in your business numbers, which could lead to having some confusion for them. And if there is a confusion, there could be something interesting for HMRC to look into your affair. The sixth flag for HMRC is not declaring all of your income, which what does it mean is, you are not declaring all of your property income, you are not declaring all of your income from capital gains tax, you are not declaring all of your income from crypto, shares, investments, foreign incomes you have missed out. You are not declaring your assets fully, which could include portfolios, investments, foreign income, interest income. So not declaring all of your income is one of the red flag. Please remember, HMRC have agreements with foreign countries to receive data on your behalf, other platforms sharing the information with HMRC for your information. So if they come to you, they would have generally some information behind it, which could lead into further investigation and questions behind those transactions, or where they feel there is a reasonable grounds to believe there was an income which has not been reported. So some kinds of income which remain unreported are sometimes foreign income, capital gains tax if you have sold a property or sold some shares and you forgot to simply declare them, property income, rental income, you have been accidental landlord and you are not able to declare it, any crypto investments which you have left in the foreign country and you think HMRC wouldn't know, generally they come to know when you dispose of, or there is a data sharing between the other governments and those platforms with HMRC. Final and the last bit, seventh point, is you are doing your filings late. Just you are a lazy lad and you are not comfortable doing it on the time. You are filing your VAT returns, your company accounts, your self-assessments late, and you're always late, or there are a lot of amendments happening in the process. So amendments in the returns or amendments in your corporation tax or VAT also trigger investigation, because it looks like there is something wrong, or there could be something proper happening. So messy records leads to sometime you are not able to file on time, and sometime you feel like there could be some issues which you have to sort out before you go into properly file it. So amendments, late filings, all of that also trigger your case for investigation. So if you have been investigated in the past due to any of these reasons or any other thing, please get in touch and share your experience, and please see out of these points where you stand and score yourself so you can understand where you stand. And if you think you need any guidance or any help from us, or you have received a letter from HMRC for investigation, please get in touch. We are qualified chartered accountants trained with KPMG, and specialize in helping small businesses grow and make their accounts and taxes more compliant and keeping their records streamlined in case of any issues for them.